Disclaimer: the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Hi everyone, this is Julie. Thank you for stopping by for another video today. In this video, I'll be looking at a simple test that we can do to check if foods have starches. So you may be eating certain foods, you may not see them on the nutritional guide. That is Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide, which is a guide of foods that you could consume. And I'll have a link below in case you don't have access to the nutritional guide. I'll have a link below so you can check that out. And yes, so Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide have a list of foods that you can eat, but you may have foods or you may see foods that are not on the list and you're not quite sure whether they probably have starches or not, because it's not a definitive that because something is not on the list that it is necessarily bad. Some foods we know outright that they have starches, but we may come across new foods that we probably have not seen before, have not experienced eating, because different territories, different countries will have foods that are indigenous to those places, and so we might want to find out if they are starch free. First, let us hear what Dr. Sebi had to say, just a small excerpt of Dr. Sebi speaking on starches. Here we go.
The supermarket was made. They have 666 varieties of apple. They have 32 varieties of cucumber. Rice, they have about 25 varieties of rice. But you know what we didn't know is that anything that has starch, God didn't make. And do you know that everything that man made has starch in it, whether it is collard greens or mustard greens or whatever? Because God could not have made something with starch, because God would be making something to offend the people that he so loved. God doesn't do that.
So there you have it. So that's what Dr. Sebi had to say about starches. So one way we can test for starch is to use iodine. Yes, simple iodine that you can buy quite easily online or at certain health food store. You'll find iodine, and this is a test in which you can add iodine solution, which is of a yellow brownish color, and you can add that to foods. And what happens is, in the presence of starch, the iodine will change color to a blue or black color. So it will change from a yellow or brownish color to blue or black. The more concentrated the starch, the darker the color would become. And we can test this with some simple foods. You'll see example. So just drop a bit of iodine on the food and just leave it and allow the color to change. And then you will see if it is starched, if it is a starch food, a starchy food, then you will see the color change to a blue-black color. If there is no starch present, there will be no change. If there is very little starch, you will see a change, but it may not be as concentrated. Some food may have traces of starch. There may be small amounts of starch, whereas other food may have a higher concentration of starch, and we can tell by the change of the color. I'll play another excerpt of Dr. Sebi, also again talking about starch and an experience he had in seeing a friend that he knew for a period of time, for a long time actually, and to see how starch had negatively impacted him.
I was born, as you know, in Central America, in Honduras, and I watched my aunt, my grandmother, my mother, my parents eat a lot of starch. And there is a tribe of people that I notice, that I know, the Garifunas, and they too eat a lot of starch. But then I look at the various diseases that they are beset with. There are high incidence of diabetes. I just recently left Honduras, and I remember a friend of mine by the name of Juan Gomez. We were on the ships together when I was a merchant seaman, and we talk of many things, and lo and behold, I had not seen this man in 20-some odd years, and I saw him in Honduras in a little village by the name of Santa Rosa de Aguan, and he was always touching his eye. He was wiping his eye, and I saw his big stomach, his belly, and then I also noticed the way he walked. And I was very hurt because Juan and I are the same age. So I know what starch has done to the black race, to the African genetical structure.
Let me interrupt you.
So there you have it, and it's easy to get iodine. As I noted, you can buy iodine solution online, as well as you can find it in health food store and also pharmacies. And just remember that you don't need a lot. You just need to put a drop of iodine, and that should be enough. So there you have it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ta-ta!